thought about that fork in the road? First of all, have you ever thought about why they call it a fork in the road? Well, it took me a while to realize that fork in the road is a symbolism of life in itself. Not the literal fork, not that fork that you're probably about to dig in that slice of pie with right now. Not that fork. Not right now. Let's go back to the metaphorical fork in the road. When you're riding down that road, at that moment when you made that decision, you made a choice to turn at that fork in the road and you picked which side you wanted to go. And when you made that choice, you felt free. That's what the fork in the road really means. Let's just compare the forks. There's this separation in the fork. It's just enough separation to dig into whatever you're trying to indulge in. That same fork right now that you got in your hand that you're getting ready to dig in that Cajun rice with. But it's just enough together to not let nothing slip through. That same fork in the road that you came down, that road, is just enough separation on that fork to go right or left. It's about the choices that we make. That separation in that fork meant that you have options. That means that you have choices to make. And when you want to make the best choices in life, you want to feel free. Kind of like how you feel when you got that fork and you're getting ready to just dig it in that plate of Sunday dinner. You think that fork is a fork just because it's a fork? No, it really is indicative of something else. It really means other things. Same thing with that fork in the road. It's not just a fork in the road because it's just a fork in the road. It all has a meaning. Don't let it pass you by. Don't let it just fly over your head as to what the true meaning of the fork means. It all means something. That's what it's about. That part. Let's talk about that glazed donut that you like. Me personally, I love Krispy Kreme. Let's talk about that donut. You think a donut is just a donut because it's a donut? It's a meaning behind that. It's a reason why it's a donut. It's basically trying to signify life. It's trying to compare it to us and what we go through every day. You ever thought about why that hole is there in that donut and what it really and truly means? I'm going to tell you. You know what? I'm not going to hold it in. I'm going to go ahead and let you all know because that's what I'm here for. Country Ed is here to let you know that no, that hole in that donut isn't just there to make you hurry up and eat the donut fast. No, that hole in that donut signifies your heart. It signifies your life. You got that hole in your heart now and you're holding in so much and it changed you. You didn't allow God to change the way that you think. You don't want that to turn your life into that hole, like that hole in that donut. But I want you to get from this is that hole. That hole is not what we want. You want the donut, yes, but you don't want that hole in your heart like that hole that's in that donut. The way you fix that hole in your heart, you got to pray. You got to pray at all times. Pray in the Spirit. You got to give it to God. That grief and that hurt and that heartache and that disappointment, it turns into something much bigger. It turns into that hole in your heart. He knows how you're feeling, but he wants you to tell him. He wants you to discuss it with him. Tell him, say, Lord, I'm angry. Lord, I'm hurt. Lord, I'm disappointed. Release it by telling the Lord exactly how you feel, your emotions of it. Because that's the part that you want to work on. You got to ask for understanding and ask for wisdom and knowledge. The way you get rid of that hole in your heart, you got to confront it. Go to the Lord. Tell him what you're angry about. Don't just pray to God about the situation itself. No, pray to God about the way you're feeling. I don't want you to think that that donut was there for you to just indulge in. No, that donut was there to signify something much more. It was there to signify. If you don't give it to God, you're going to have that hole in your heart, like that hole in that donut. And I don't want that. We want that donut, but we don't want that hole. Be willing to let the Lord take control. Thank you. And you ever thought about it like that volcano? I know I fear a volcano. I've never saw one except on TV, and that's the only time I want to see a volcano. But you think about it. You think a volcano is just a volcano to be one? No, that volcano is there to signify something. We don't want to be like that volcano. We don't want to allow all of those hoarded feelings and emotions that we held in from disappointment and heartache and despair and anger and bitterness and being vindictive. We don't want to let those feelings stay inside of us and then one day it just erupts and you don't do nothing about it beforehand. It's going to erupt and it's going to damage other people, your family, your children, your love life. It's going to damage others because you were so angry for a very long time. But then think about the other end of it. That lava just poured out of that volcano. What happened? Everything that lava touched was destroyed. Every day we learn about the volcanoes, and when we were kids in school, we didn't think much of it, right? Well, now you know that volcano means much more. So let's stop that volcano from erupting. Let's confront those fears. Let's confront those emotions. And the way we confront it is by going to our counselor, and that is God. We got to pray that thing out. We got to talk to the Lord. We got to give it to God. Read the Bible. And it's okay also to get counseling from others. Don't just think that you can't learn from someone who's going to give you good counseling. We don't want to be on TV like that volcano that we saw on TV that erupted. We don't want to be that. Thank you.